What's going on, everyone? I just wanted to do a video on bougie people. It was something that I was reminded of. I was watching one of Alan Roger Curry's videos, and I just I wanted to add some insight because, as far as how I look at it as a more of a broad definition. It's different types of bougie people that. This he called in his video outliers, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So I pretty much I have a presentation I made regarding this, and I'm gonna pretty much show it to you. I'm gonna set things up, and I'm gonna show you basically the different types of bougie people. Okay. A lot of these groups you already understand. Um some you might not fit or even think about us in that category, but they actually are in that category. I will definitely explain it. I am late on the Gemini video for the horoscope. I'm gonna be wrapping that up. Not really busy, but I just pretty much kind of you know just kind of somewhat forget. I'm forgetful, and at the same time, I just really haven't put time together into making a video on it. But I will do that. I will get that done as soon as possible. But I am going to open up this PowerPoint, and we're going to get into the types of bougie people. Okay. All right. So basically, this is just something that is just my opinion. I'll have to say that I am in this type somewhere. I come from a family, pretty much bougie, or even pretty much I'll talk about it as far as my family. At least my mother's side is very much this first topic here, which is traditionalist, basically. So, and this is primarily from an African American vantage point. Okay, I'm not talking about all overall as far as class, as far as everyone else. I'm just talking about black people. Okay, so a lot of what you know as far as bougie people is the in the black community is called the boule. Okay, primarily just a lot of people that are in certain Masonic groups and Greek letter organizations. They're pretty much looked at as the boule. This is something new. Primarily, the person that kind of put boule as far as in the mainstream or even in the conscious space is the late Steve Coakley. He pretty much, kind of documented and did research on the boule, and he brought it to the mainstream. He's probably the first persons that brought it to actually outside of you know just kind of secret private circles. But pretty much they have the traditional bougie people, also known as boule, or some people just call them bougie. But they have basically a very colorist history. Okay, going back from the plantations, the slave masters' children being mulatto, or whether you call them light skinned, they were the one the ones that were looked at as the high strung individuals. A lot of times, a lot of people don't know history. A lot of light skinned people or even mulattoes, they very much did not even look at themselves as black. They were kind of forced to kind of go back and toe the line to the black community, or black people at the time in the early 1900s, before the one drop rule. They were pretty much kind of, they had their own little clique or whatever. Not saying that they still that they don't or whatever now, but back then they weren't really looked at as black. They were kind of towing to the line to being white. Okay. So they were forced to actually kind of go back into the black community because of the one drop rule primarily. And even as of my mother's generation, she told stories of the paper bag test. And my grandmother is very much a colorist. I mean, she's light skinned, very, very light. This is pretty much something that they struggle with, and it's primarily the origins of it is the plantations. Okay, the slave culture in this country. They pretty much frowned upon non-traditionalists. And what I mean by non-traditionalists is anybody other than themselves. If the other people, that the other outliers, they that I'm going to be talking about, they frown upon these people. They pretty much anybody that I agree with with Alan Roger Carey's position, as far as if you don't have a degree, pretty much they shun anyone that does not have a degree. If you don't have any type of degree, or you're not a high degree or high net worth person, they pretty much or you're not a part of any type of organization, or they pretty much shun you. That's pretty much what they do. And basically a lot of traditionalists are basically individuals that are groomed or mentored by other people, by others that are basically boule. Usually family members, like I mentioned earlier, like my grandfather's in the Masonic order, and pretty much it's just my mother probably, I'm not sure, I think she was in like Jack and Jill and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, there you pretty much groomed to basically the ways of high society. Now I'll say this. I was not this is different levels to this. You have people that are traditionalists, as far as in the black bougie community, that they're like second, third, fourth generation. That's when it's a situation where it goes really, really in depth. They are taught table etiquette and how to use a salad fork, and all kind of other ways on how to set the table, how to curtsy, and all of these types of things that are taught. And they're usually, in most cases, high net worth. Even the family is already has a business, and they're millionaires and stuff like that. That's traditionally what I see when the families that are fourth and third generation bougie. They go really in depth as far as the training and stuff like that. They groom their children, and even grandchildren to follow those footsteps. They usually are, I will have to say, I agree with ARC's, statistic, as far as they're high five figures and six figures individuals on up. If you're not like making a lot of money, I have to say, even if you are quote unquote in the group, if you're a traditionalist, you pretty much kind of get excommunicated when you fall on hard times. One of the things that I find that some of these people that are in these Greek organizations are a part of this society, it's very much a membership card that you're a member of, but it's kind of like if you never watched the movie Trading Places. Well, when Dan Aykroyd he fell on hard times, and the cruel little joke that his bosses did to him, and basically put him kind of like kicked him downward towards poverty. Well, it's just very similar. His friends did no longer accept him. I mean, they pretty much looked down upon him. That's pretty much how it is in this group. If you stop making six figures, go into bankruptcy, God forbid, went to prison or jail and got a felony. You very much would be shunned out of this group. Like, I mean, even the Masonic groups, if you get a felony or you get a criminal record, I think you no longer are in the group as far as the organization. But I'm not sure with that. But very much this group is only if you actually are still making that money and actually showing and proving. If you just fell on hard times and went towards Slumville, you no longer looked at as somebody that they'll basically look at you as an outcast. Now the next group is in a lot of these different groups that I'm going to be talking about in this basically bougie types. They're very much it's people that kind of fit in with a lot of these different categories, or even cross categorically they fit into a wide variety. Like basically like all of these people in this picture here, from Oprah to Dr. Dre to Michael Jordan to Kanye West, they fit into other groups that I'm going to be talking about. But these are all self-made, basically millionaires. If not, it's a couple billionaires on this list. Actually more than a couple. These people are usually anywhere between rags to riches, to the family was in the middle class. One thing I know is that basically out of this group in this picture, Robert Smith, Michael Jordan, and definitely Kanye West, they do not have a rags to riches story. Okay, they definitely do not. They didn't grow up poor. Okay, so this group is also called Nouveau Rich, which pretty much is French for newly rich, basically. These people are respected among the traditionalists. Out of all the groups of the different outliers of the group, they'll overlook the traditionalists. They'll overlook your, non-degree to a certain extent, or even if you are not part of any organization. Hell, pretty much the traditionalists, this is the group that they will recruit from. They'll be like, you know what? Well, we'll just make you an honorary, Kappa. We'll make you an honorary, whatever, because basically they respect the fact that you were able to, do whatever you could, bootstrapped your business, and you made it to become financially successful. So out of all of the other outliers, the traditionalists, they respect the self-made out of this group. Okay. Um, they are basically the educational um, career is mixed. Some may not be have went to college at all. Some have been went to college, or some even have degrees. You know, um, they very much is a mixed bag with it when it comes to the self-made individuals. A lot of people in this group are also traditionalists. Okay, um, basically one person kind of comes out in this picture. I know Michael Jordan. He's a Omega. So he's in part of the Omega Sci-Fi. So he very much is actually a traditionalist as well. You know, if Michael Jordan just basically was a high school teacher because he got his degree in, I think, geography. If he was just a high school teacher, you know, and maybe sold real estate on the side or something, he would still be a part of the traditionalists because he actually had a degree, member of Omega Sci-Fi. You know, probably, you know, let's say he make, you know, anywhere between high five figures or six figures, he still would be a traditionalist. Okay, so yeah, some of these people are actually cross categorically in different parts of these groups that I'm going to be talking about. This is a growing section of the bougie, obviously, because you know it's becoming, because of the internet, the power of the internet, a lot of opportunities, technology related, a lot of opportunities to make money now. You know, just to just briefly talk about this, because hopefully I have aspirations to be in the mix. You know, I'm a budding entrepreneur myself, but um, I just have to say that, you know, a lot of people don't understand. You know, a lot of young people, Gen Zs and below, they don't understand that. Okay, to actually be able to, you know, I hear people casually talking about trading, you know, shares of stock and stuff, and it just reminds me of, you know, the '80s and the '90s when, you know, you listen to the older people, like 50, 60-year-old guys, they'll tell you you weren't able, not everybody was just able to trade stocks. You actually had to have a physical broker. It was no internet. You know, you had to know a broker, and if you wanted to buy some stocks, you would have to call your broker, you have to wire some money, and it was a, you know, kind of an ordeal where it was not easy to do. You didn't just hit a button and then next thing you know you were just trading stocks. That wasn't how things were in the '80s and '90s, and very much it was kind of an exclusive, you know, group to be in to be able to buy stocks. You know, unless your company actually gave you shares of stocks for working for the company, most people were not trading shares of stocks. You know, so just that alone just kind of shows, you know, how much you know, the actual self-made group was kind of very rare and small. You know, now you have a lot of people that are, you know, getting into a lot of different, you know, aspects of investments and actually coming into the self-made category. Now, the third on this list, and actually most people don't even think about this, went over a lot of people's heads, but it didn't go over mine. This is conscious woke people. Okay, they're very much a part of this bougie community. Okay, the NOI, the Nation of Islam, the Nation of Gods of Earth, 5%ers. You know, people call them hoteps. Okay, very much. This is a very small niche group, highly criticized by others, including the bougie. You know, very, very new in this bougie community. You know, you got basically the most hated individual in all of social media, Brother Polite. and you got a couple of other Nation of Islam members, is including Farrakhan in the picture below. Basically, this is the reason why I put this category. The thing that you don't know is, one, the nations of the gods and earth is basically the five percenters. They very much are part of the origins of rap and hip hop. Very much Kanye West is kind of pretty much is considered a five percenter. Very much a lot of people are into five percenter types of philosophies. It's also a growing niche that is basically kind of people that are conscious, the conscious community. They're making money. The whole thing was five percenter also mean that poor righteous teacher. Well, some of these people are not necessarily trying to be poor anymore. They're trying to make money. Some are actually making a lot of money, and they're doing it very much very quietly. But the thing is that they're very much a part of this bougie group that a lot of people they don't like them. Okay, they're probably the most disliked of all of the other groups that I'm talking about. The reason why they're not liked is because basically they're non-traditionalists. Okay, one of the thing about the traditionalists, the self-made, okay, even the other group that I'm going to be talking about, which is very much criticized, these people are non-traditionalists. Okay, I mean, my mother was part of the Nation of Islam. Okay, it was no Christmas celebration. Okay, there's no tree. I never carried a tree in from the outside into my house, living with my mother and my father. I didn't celebrate Christmas. Okay, I I would even, hear it was stories where I pretty much my mother set me down and made me watch Roots at 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking at white people with the side eye at like 8, 9 years old, man. I mean, so yeah, I mean, these people are pretty much non-traditionalists. You would even say not even so much non-traditionalists, but kind of revolutionaries. Okay, they're trying to do something different because let's just face it, the traditionalists and the self-made individuals. Okay, let's just keep it real. They follow the same format. They're primarily Christian, and they definitely celebrate all of the European holidays. How they make their money is basically just basically being the gatekeepers to to whatever wealth that they can get, and it's usually associated with Europeans. Okay, so anybody going against the grain is they don't like. Okay, their pastors pretty much tell them not to like other people that are different than them, and they follow them, and basically yeah, that is one of the reasons there. But the thing is that they also have a lot of ideologies that just doesn't mix in well with the traditionalists. Okay, and their philosophies basically are something that is just way different. I mean, people tend to look at people that are conscious or woke as just crazy, individuals. Now, the income in these group it varies, but I'll have to say that there's a very very small group. Okay, it's not that many people that if they are, they're very much under the radar, and you wouldn't even know who they are. They don't even really want to be out in the mainstream really because it just a lot of times it's very much a reason for that. But yeah, it's a very small group of the bougie community, and it is most hated, I would say. Now, the second most hated and old, I call them the Bougetto or Bougetto. It's the oldest sector of the black bougie community. Secondly, to the traditionalists, basically anybody that made a whole bunch of money and got out of the slums of the ghetto, whether it be from the early 1900s till present, basically the traditionalists are going to look down at. Okay, they're gonna talk about why they talk like they do, why they dress like they do, why they like the things that they like. I mean, it just is what it is. This is old though. A lot of people don't really understand, but anybody basically that made a whole bunch of money and they came from the slums. I mean, it gonna look at they still like nice things, but they're gonna look at as a certain way to the traditionalists. Okay, this group really riffs with the traditionalists as well, because a lot of times they look at the traditionalists like, I was living in a hood, you guys were living high on the hog, and you didn't help me, you didn't lift me up, you gave some type of an example. I like looking at you, and I was inspired by you, but kind of have a side eye to you, because and you got a side eye to me, but I actually saved my money, or you know got myself up out the mud, and now look at me. Um, they are not liked because a lot of their financial success also came from illegal means. Uh, you know, pretty much a lot of these guys in this picture, they had something to do with selling some packs. Okay, not all of them, I'll say, but a lot of these guys. I mean, rappers. I mean, definitely Nas, Jay-Z. They pretty much they um their entire album catalog mostly is derived of their basically rags to riches story of how they sold drugs. Okay, so that's one of the reasons also that the traditionalists doesn't like this group, because they're like, you kind of like cheated a little bit. But another reason that they're shunned by the bougie community, the traditionalist bougie community, is because they have a lot of habits and behaviors that are considered low class or ghetto. I mean, as much as I kind of talk about ghetto people and stuff like that, even myself, I mean, I'm not even I basically lived in the ghetto as well. I mean, my grandparents, they, basically were, part of the traditionalist. My mother, she was pretty much she went her own route, you know what I'm saying? So she kind of went, left or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I had to grow up. I remember living in the ghetto. So a lot of behaviors and stuff like that. They're definitely kind of rubbed off of me. I as much as I would like to kind of be super uber, you know, whatever the case may be, a traditionalist, I really can't be, because some people. I mean, like, for example, the traditionalists, a typical child that grew up in a traditionalist household, they went to school, private school, most likely. They, had, they went to church and Bible study and all of this other stuff, and well manicured clothes, and you know, the most elite among that group had a nanny. They had, a private tutor and all this other stuff. I mean, I've never had anything like that. I mean, my grandfather was a millionaire businessman, but my mother wasn't. That was her stepfather. So I mean, I was around it, but the thing is that I wasn't born into, all of this type of money where, a traditionalist child was, born in a mansion or born even in a nice middle class, house in the suburbs. Like, no, I literally, when I was a kid, yeah, it was, I grew up in the suburbs, but I was, youth living, 4 or 5 years old, living in the ghetto. So I have a lot of habits that are ghetto. No matter how bougie I might come off and stuff like that, I'll have ghetto slip ups. And the thing about it is, just think about the person that never left the ghetto. Like I left the ghetto at 5 years old, or 6. I don't even remember exactly, but people that grew up in the ghetto, it's very hard for them to, um, you know, basically suppress their ghetto behavior, or even not even like the ghetto or like ghetto stuff, because that's what they grew up around. That's what they know. And they became successful. They made a whole bunch of money, because the thing about it is the reason why the traditionalists kind of like shun these people is because they're mixing in the crowd. They see these people at get-togethers. They see these people around because they have the money to get in. They have one thing. They have the actual money card to actually get in the group. Okay, that's one of the biggest things that among all of these different groups that I have to mention, they have the money to get in these groups. Okay, so they gonna see these people and bump heads because these they can't say that they're not, they can't say that they have to go. They have the money to get in, and they have to deal with these people. But I mean, they don't necessarily like them, but these people made the money to actually get out of the ghetto, and they still have those habits. They still have even a certain dialect that very much is ghetto, and it's like it's pretty much something that people pretty much the traditionalists do not they crack jokes about stuff like that. So this group this goes back to it goes back to grooming, basically, and being taught the behaviors of high society. These people were not taught any of that. Okay, it's very common. You get somebody to get. I mean, I'm being honest. Like even myself, right? I remember, one of my lady friends got me a nice little hotel room, and I didn't know how to work the whirlpool. I didn't know how to turn the whirlpool on, and she did. I mean, it's just stuff like that. It's like, you get some new opportunities, some new money, and then let's just say you just go you go buy a mansion. A person from the ghetto, they don't know how to probably light a fireplace. They don't know how to turn on the whirlpool. It just things like that they're just not groomed. Okay, and not taught. A lot of these people, the smartest of these people, they actually go to the traditionalists and actually let them teach them on different things so they can kind of mix in. For example, I'd have to be honest with you. Floyd Mayweather definitely grew up in poverty. Okay. But he actually has got with people that are wealthy and rich, and he's being taught, and he's actually already been taught how to kind of mix in, and he's mixing in very well. Jay-Z is another person, and is especially Nas. They mixed in already 10, 20 years ago. They've already mixed in to the traditionalists, to the self-made. They're self-made millionaires as well, self-made businessmen themselves, and they've mixed in with the traditionalists to kind of show them the ropes. So some of the people, they just kind of never do it, and it just kind of sticks with them to certain habits and stuff like that. But to each his own. But the income in this group varies. Okay. When I say Bouji, it could be somebody that just got a job making 60 grand working at being an assistant manager at Walmart. Well, they just they got enough money to get a decent place to live, a decent car. They might, you might see them in the parking lot with 20-inch rims on a Regal. This is this is what type of behavior you would expect. So very much this is something that basically I just had to get off my chest. I see two people watching, very much appreciative of the eyeballs. So this is pretty much, this is something that I just had to kind of get off my chest. I was kind of compelled to kind of talk about this anyway, but it was just something that I just had to get off my chest. I mean, I saw the video. I think it was Alan Roger Curry's last video. I'll definitely put it in the description. Alan Roger Curry, I would say he's more of a traditionalist, definitely. That video I'll definitely put in the description. And if anybody wants to talk about this, I mean, I definitely, I know it's late, but I it's the weekend. I mean, I'll definitely entertain anybody that wants to talk about this topic. Somebody said that they wanted to air me out about the video that I did about childbirth and child support. Ain't no just you gonna air me out. Shit, I'm an old school YouTuber. I've been around since the Hangout days. I'll mute you and have you looking stupid just like Kevin Samuels will. You ain't just gonna air me out, and I'm going point for point when I dialogue with somebody. It's not just you just run your mouth and you don't have anything to back up what you're saying. I don't dialogue like that. But yeah, I'll give you guys a second if you wanted to actually chime in on the topic. Otherwise, I'm just definitely gonna just close this out and finish up. Give me some rest because I gotta go back hard in the paint tomorrow. Well, later today. So the weekend doesn't stop. Still have to capture those transactions. Shout out to Real Deal Financial. That's the I'll be saying that when I'm old and gray, man. Capture transactions, man. I'll be trying to go out and capture transactions, man. So even when I ain't, at my other job during the week, so that don't stop on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So, and I definitely, man. I mean, I got Cashapp's, basically live in a well. If you're able to do so, definitely send a cash out my way to show your appreciation for the content. I know I ain't. Hey, I must be somebody, man. I got a lot of subs. I must be somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I must be striking a chord to someone. I know I know the government. I know the government believes I'm somebody. Shit. But anyway, nobody wants to come up. I will, pretty much close this on out, and that's it. I got a new clip that I want to play, man. It's clip right here.
Boy, just be yourself. Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like you, if people don't like yourself, being yourself, fuck them.